Well, that's a great question. I actually do. I when I was younger, I pretty quickly knew that I wasn't going to be a pianist because every time I wound up trying to memorize a Beethoven sonata, somewhere in the middle of it, I started to improvise and do my own piece. So I figured, yeah, it's probably not going to be the right thing for me. I'm not gonna, I'm not a actually by the book memorizer, because I my mind just wanders in a certain direction. But I did for a while think that I would be a conductor, and did a fair bit of conducting when I was young, of my own music and others. And I had a new music group in New York called Musical Elements, and then I was with the American Composers Orchestra. Um, but part of knowing yourself is knowing what your your temperament is. And I think everybody needs to understand themselves. And I quickly learned that my temperament was more being a composer than it was being a conductor. I functioned better that way. I felt in ultimately I felt like I was what I did as a conductor was I'm sure quite good, but I thought I had more unique things to offer as a composer, and I was more suited to it. I felt that the uh, the creative rewards of actually wrestling with these things by myself were, some you have to be suited to that. It's not something that for everybody. You have to sit in a room by yourself. A lot of people can't stand even being for 5 minutes by themselves. So you have to really know that you can do this. And it's a very slow. You need a lot of. Uh, you need to be very patient, and you need to wait. Um, but if you know you can do this, and if you felt that the feeling, um, that very unique feeling of creatively coming to some sort of crossroads in a work, and knowing that feeling is unlike anything else really in the world, you kind of get hooked on it. And if it suits you, then that's usually where you head. But others, like Maestro Serebrier, who is a very fine composer, has made a major career as a conductor, and he really wears both hats quite easily. For me, I felt, for me, I just thought it's very clear. What I was meant to do was to write music, and that's where I can make my contribution.